Sherlock Holmes, starring Basil Rathbone as Nigel Bruce. Another adventure of Sherlock Holmes, with Basil Rathbone as Sherlock Holmes and Nigel Bruce as Dr. Watson. Now, here we are again in our habitual armchair in front of Dr. Watson's fireplace, waiting for the good doctor to put down the evening paper.
Oh, I beg your pardon, Mr. Manning. I didn't see you come in. I was reading about your latest American gang shooting.
Yes, crime seems to be riding high, wide, and handsome in most of our big cities, I'm afraid. What a pity we haven't got Mr. Sherlock Holmes on the job.
This is just what I was thinking.
Of course, on the other hand, these gangs of racketeers have sprung up since he retired. Perhaps he wouldn't know how to handle it.
Rubbish. I can remember just one case we handled back in 94. It was concerned with Giorgiano, the worst gang leader New York ever had. We didn't call it racketeering in those days, but it amounted to the same thing. Kidnapping, blackmailing, bombing, terrorizing innocent people. By during the course of that particular case, Giorgiano had one man taken for a ride, would you call it?
Yeah, that sounds interesting. Why don't you tell us about it?
Well, it's a bad story. Let me see. It was in November in the year 1894. Holmes and I were sitting in our rooms in Vegas.
Well, I thought you said this story was about the head of a New York gang.
Yes, so I did, Mr. Manning, so I did, just to interrupt. Even famous gangsters have been known to travel about from time to time. Well, as I was saying, Holmes and I were sitting in our rooms in Baker Street, and our housekeeper, Mrs. Hudson, ushered in a friend of hers, a landlady who kept lodgings in Great Orme Street. Holmes invited her to sit down. The poor woman was obviously harassed and kept sucking away at the fringe of her cape.
Mrs. Hudson tells me that you've been having some difficulty with the lodger, Mrs.
Warren,
Oh, thank you,
no, Mr. Holmes, you couldn't call it difficulty I'm having. And there was a lodger that was easier to do for. It's just that I don't see him from one weekend to the other.
Oh, come now. That's nothing to be uneasy about. My best of Mrs. Warren, if I were your lodger, there would be many occasions when you wouldn't see me for weeks at a time. I work a good deal at night, you know, and do my sleeping by day.
Oh, no doubt, Mr. Holmes. But this is different. He never goes out, not even at night. I've waited up to find out. I never see his face, not even when he pays his bills. Not a sign of him ever seen for the last 3 weeks.
And how do you know he's still there?
God, was trying to get away from something. Oh, it frightens me, Mr. Holmes. I can't sleep for fright.
When did this lodger first come to you?
3 weeks back it was. He has returned tonight with 50 shillings a week. If he does a fine sitting room and bedroom all complete like at the top of the house.
Yes, indeed. Go on.
Well, Mr. Holmes, he says to me, I'll pay £5 a week if I can have it on my own terms. He took a £10 note out of his pocket then and then and did it to me 2 weeks in advance. Then he says he's to be left entirely to himself and never for any excuse are we to disturb him.
So he took the rooms and hasn't been out since?
Oh, yes, he is, sir. What?
But I thought you said that he...
Just what it was, sir, that first night. He went out and returned very late. He was all in bed, but I heard him walking up the stairs. And his door shut and locked. Oh, he keeps it locked. And I ain't seen him since.
But his meals? How does he get his meals?
But when he rings, I take his tray up and leave it on the chair outside his door. Then when he rings again, up I goes and takes the tray away empty. If he wanting anything else, he left it on his slip of paper and he set it on the tray.
I see. Have you brought any of those bits of paper with you?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. There's just been 3.
Good.
Here they are.
Uh-huh. Wednesday? Most interesting. Written with a broad, pointed, violet-tipped pencil and printed.
Well, what do they say,
The messages are quite laconic, my dear Watson. Soap, Daily Gazette, and Match. They open up a very pleasing field of intelligent speculation. Suggestive, Watson, very suggestive. The gentleman...
Anything very unusual about those papers?
No. That's printed. The gentleman doesn't wish Mrs. Warren to obtain a sample of his handwriting. And here, look. On this slip, after the soap, a corner has been torn away. There is evidently some mark, perhaps a thumbprint, to make it a clue to the man's identity. Furthermore, the person is undoubtedly a foreigner.
Oh, how do you deduce that?
When he writes match, not matches. You must look the word up in the dictionary, which gave only the singular, of course. Now, Mrs. Warren, what's your lodger look like when he came to take the room?
Youngish he was, Mr. Holmes. Not over 30. Middle size, dark, and he had a beard.
Spoke English?
Yes, sir, he spoke English well enough, but with an accent. He was a foreigner.
What I tell you, Watson, what I tell you. Did he give his name?
No, sir.
He had any letters or callers?
No, sir.
Where did he retire when you or the girl go in to do his in the morning?
We don't go in, sir. He does for himself.
Oh, I see. Yes, interesting. And you say nothing has come out of that room? Absolutely nothing?
Just 2 burnt matches and a cigarette end. They was on the tray this morning.
You brought them with you?
Oh, that I did, sir. Mrs. Hudson told me as how you said nothing was too small to take notice of.
Mrs. Hudson was right.
Sir, here you be.
These matches were used to light cigarettes.
Steady. How can you tell what the matches were used for?
Quite obvious, my dear. Wasn't quite obvious. The shortness of the burnt end. Each half a match is consumed in lighting a pipe or a cigar. Hello. Well. This cigarette is certainly remarkable. Yes, Mrs. Warren. The gentleman who is now living in your rooms is not the gentleman who engaged them.
No, Holmes, you can't tell us that. You can deduce that from the cigarette itself.
Elementary, my dear Watson, elementary. Notice the size of the thing. I believe you said the first gentleman had a beard, Mrs. Warren.
Yes, sir. A black beard it was, and a flowing moustache.
Yes. Now, take the cigarette. Only a clean-shaven man could have smoked down this far. Why, Watson, even that whistle you call a moustache would have been sent.
That's not very funny. Perhaps he used a holder.
Impossible, my dear fellow. Notice the way that it's matted at the end. No, it's a different person entirely.
How could he have got in?
Well, he went out the first night, Mrs. Warren tells us. But did the same man return? I think not. I think it was the second chap who came back. The one for whom the first man took the room.
Perhaps they both returned. Possibly that there are 2 men in those rooms.
Excellent, my dear Watson, excellent. You're coming along. Now, tell me, Mrs. Warren, how much does the fellow eat? Could it be enough for 2?
Oh, no, sir. He eats so little I often wonder if he can keep life in one.
Well, that settles that.
Oh?
Now, Mrs. Warren, there seems to be nothing more to be done for the moment. I hardly think the situation is dangerous, at least not for the present. But keep us informed of any further developments.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Holmes. I've relieved you in my mind already. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Not at all.
Good day, gentlemen.
Good day, Mrs. Warren. Look here, Holmes. You're not going to go fucking about in this affair. The man is probably just a harmless eccentric of some sort.
You never know, Watson. You never know. Whoever he is living in terror. Terror of what, I wonder?
Oh, rubbish. Besides, who's going to foot the bill? What do you expect to get out of a case like this? Education?
The pursuit of knowledge, Watson, is my great hobby.
Pursuit of knowledge with foot. Curiosity, that's what it is. Plain, unadulterated curiosity.
Oh, possibly, Watson, possibly. Education, pursuit of knowledge, curiosity. Perhaps they all amount to the same thing.
Where are you going to look for your education in this case, if I may ask?
In the Daily Gazette, my dear fellow, in the Daily Gazette. A newspaper is often a very storehouse of knowledge.
I say, Holmes, every time I look at you, you have your nose buried in a copy of the Daily Gazette. Why the conduct for that yellow rag?
Yeah. The Daily Gazette is the paper Mrs. Warren's mysterious lodger asked for, remember?
Well, what of it? What can you discover from a common newspaper? The answer is nothing. Nothing at all. Here it is 4 days since we heard of that mysterious gentleman, Mrs. Warren. What have you unearthed? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
You're wrong as usual, my dear Watson.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special bulletin from the NBC newsroom in New York. President Roosevelt will address the joint session of Congress at noon tomorrow. We return you now to the adventures of Sherlock Holmes.
My chief is enemies to the hiding place of the mysterious lodger. How would you go about keeping in touch with him?
Just where now?
Through the papers, my dear fellow, through the agony columns. And since Mrs. Warren's lodger received only one paper, the notices must appear in that.
Okay. See now, but how can you tell which notice is the one we're after?
By elimination, Watson. By elimination. Take this paper, for instance. The edition which appeared 2 days after the lodger took up his residence with Mrs. Warren.
The agony column, huh? Let's have a look. Dear me. What a collection of groans, cries, and utter nonsense.
Perhaps, my dear Watson, perhaps, but nevertheless, an invaluable hunting ground for the searchers after education. Well, go on.
The first one reads, surely Jimmy will not break his mother's heart. Very certain. Listen to this. It's the lady who fainted in the Brixton Park.
Disregard that. The lady doesn't interest me.
Here's another. Every day, my heart
Oh, bleach, Watson. Unmitigated bleach. Go on, please.
Well. Be patient. We'll find some means of communication. Meanwhile, watch this column. It's signed G.
Sounds more plausible, eh?
Are there any others?
Yes, 3 days later we picked up the trail again. Here it is. There, that one.
And making successful arrangements, patience and prudence, the clouds will pass. G again.
Yes, nothing for 2 weeks after that. Then comes something more definite. Here.
The park is clearing. If I find chance to signal a member code, A1, B2, and so on. You'll hear soon. Oh, what's for G? That goes. He's warming up.
Oh, see who that is, will you, Watson?
Sure. Oh, yes. Yes, I'm sure he wanted to run. Thank you so much.
Well. What is it?
It's the afternoon copy of the Gazette that has just arrived. This is how they got
Oh,
ordered up.
good. See if there's anything in it.
House of Parliament in heated session. Actress has pearls still.
Oh, come on, give me that paper.
Look, how did you say? Snatching the paper out of a fuller's hands like that. Nice manners, I must say.
Here we are, Watson, here we are.
Oh, you were good.
I read house with white stone facing, third floor, second window left after dusk. G. Ha. That's definite enough, Watson. That's definite enough. Hello, what's that? Look out of the window, will you, Watson?
Your friend, Mrs. Warren. I said it. She must be excited. Her hat to the side of her head, and she's puffing like a steam engine. There's Mrs. Hudson. Just let her in.
Yeah, something happened. We weren't there. Confound it, Watson. I hope nothing. Come in. Mrs. Warren, what's up?
Oh, Mr. Holmes, sir, I come as fast as I could.
Well, here, take a chair and get your breath.
Oh.
No, wait a minute. Sit down. That's better. Now then, what's happened?
It's a police matter, that's what it is. I'll have no more of it, and I won't. I'll pack in my bag and baggage. I'm at the end of my patience, I am. When it comes to knocking my old man about.
Mr. Watson,
Well, treat him rough anyway.
who did that?
Well, that's what we want to know. It was around 11 this morning. There was a fog, you remember? Well, I sent Mr. Warren around to get me some money and for the stew we were to have for lunch. Well, he says he got no more than 10 paces down the road when 2 men come up behind him, threw a coat over his head, and bundled him into a cab that was standing beside the curb. 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and he don't come back. And there am I and me stew left waiting for the onions. Well, at 2 o'clock he put up a stew anyhow. And you know what a stew is like without onions.
Yes, like tea without...
Yes, that's
milk.
like mine.
Well, it's...
Tea without milk is about that. One of the most...
Go on, Mrs. Warren, go on, never mind.
Yes, well, it's 3 o'clock. My old man from home, all black and blue, and his coat tore. At first I think he's been in some pub. He's got a weakness for a drunk now and then.
Yes, go on.
And pretty soon I see he's not drunk, just dazed, and he tells me he's been driving around for 2 hours with a couple of men hustling him, and finally they opened the door and shoved him out. And when he comes to, he found he was on Hampstead Heath, so he took a bus home, and there he lies now on the sofa, moaning and groaning.
Indeed, most interesting. Did he notice the appearance of the man? Did he hear them talk?
No, Mr. O. He's clean dazed. He just knows he was lifted up as if by magic and then dropped again. Yes, sir, that's right.
And you connect this attack with your lodger?
Well, sir, we've been living there 15 years now, and no such happenings ever came before. I've had enough of it. Money's not everything. I'll have him out of the house before a day is
Now,
done.
wait a minute, Mrs. Warren. Wait a minute. Don't do anything rash. The matter's becoming more and more interesting. It's clear that these men mistook your husband for your lodger, and they had his hog this morning, and when they discovered their mistake, they released him.
They threw him out, they did, on his ear.
Oh, wait a minute. The important thing is that your lodger's enemies have found him. They're on his track. They'll be back. I suggest you return to your home at once before anything serious has a chance to happen.
Just a moment, we'll rejoin Sherlock Holmes as he endeavors to solve the mystery of Mrs. Warren's loss.
This is my house, sir.
It's very tidy indeed. Starched curtain, polished doorknob.
I will admit, Mr. Holmes. Now, where do I put my key?
There's windows on the top floor where the lamp is lit. Those are the lodger's rooms, I take it?
Yes, sir. Oh, here's the key. Slipped inside the linen and the bag. Will you come in, gentlemen?
Holmes? Oh, the door's open. Come on in. I say, why are you staring at that house across the street?
You see it, Watson? You see it?
Yes, I see it on that blind.
High red house with white stone facing.
Of course. The message.
Yes. Watson, that is undoubtedly the signal station. Notice the to-let sign in the window? An ideal spot, my dear fellow, an ideal spot.
I dare say we're supposed to be gone inside. We're keeping Mrs. Warren waiting.
Right, Watson, tactical as usual. Oh, Mrs. Warren, what now?
I don't rightly know, sir.
Well, I suppose you begin by taking a look at this mysterious lodger of yours.
Well, how are you going to manage that if he keeps the door locked?
When do you take his next play up to Mrs. Warren?
Usually I do see around 4:30.
4:30, eh? It's almost that now. Is there any chance, another room with a door opening onto this corridor?
No, sir, that is... Oh, wait a minute, sir. There's a cupboard. A big cupboard almost opposite his door here.
Excellent. What you and I will secrete ourselves in that cupboard while Mrs. Warren fixes the gentleman's tea tray.
Very good, sir. I'll handle it right away. It is the top floor, Mr. Holmes. You can't miss it. The cupboard door is the first one to the right, at the head of the stairs.
Good, thank you. Come on, Watson.
But, you do think it's nice, flying like this?
Watson, you've too many scruples to take first-class detective. No confounding stairs. They creak like a rusty thing.
Well, now what are you doing?
Removing my shoes. You better follow my example. That way you have a much better chance of being undetected.
Oh, well, but I feel like a criminal myself. Well, not I can't get this shoelace undone.
Well, for goodness sake, break it. We can't sit here all night.
All right. Oh, here.
Come on now. Quiet, keep quiet. Sounds like the charge of the light brigade.
I'm not making any more noise than you are.
Easy now. Cupboard door. Yes, let's go.
What? What you said was the last.
Poke of paint, please, will you? Close the door. Open the bag. That's not true.
I can't say best thing was here like this.
I'm not supposed to. I'll do this little band, but if it's myself. Here comes Mrs. Warren now. Let's stop that noise, Watson. You're popping like a grappler. Oh, here she is. Sit down, chair. Going away. At the door now. Slowly. And a big white thunder. Well, I'm dashed. What is this? What's happening? Something I did not foresee. Follow me downstairs quickly, Watson. My only excitement. Who was it? Who opened the door? Remember, I deduced the substitution of lodgers, Watson? Yes. What I did not foresee was that we should find a woman, and no ordinary woman, Watson. No, of course not. Dark, young, handsome, but a face etched with terror. Terror? Do you think she saw us? I think she suspected our presence. Well, what do we do now? We'll put on our shoes. They're going to spend the next few minutes on the front doorstep. Why? You remember the message said that Jean would communicate with the lady at dusk today? Please keep an eye on the window opposite. Yes, but that's too almost dark now. Come along.
Holmes, we've been here for half an hour. My fingers are practically numb. Perhaps your friend has seen us and been scared off.
No, it's always too dark. It's more likely that something has happened to prevent us coming. Hold on. There's a light over there now.
Yes, I can see a shadow. Look, there he is. Pale face. Pressed against the wall.
She's got a candle peering across. Want to make sure she's there. Have you seen flash? A single flash? It's A. Just a message, Willie Watson, so we can check up on each other.
Oh, wait a minute. T. That's
Wait a minute. That's done. Another T.
beginning of the second word.
Now E. Then comes an N. Long one this time.
It's another T.
An A. It's not. Well, surely that's not all.
At 10 at 10 tonight. Why, wake up. I have it. T.A. The initial.
Let's go again.
Why do you got to race like that? I can't keep up with it.
The same message over again. Curious, Watson. Attenta.
Must be in cipher home.
Not a very obscure cipher, Watson. It's Italian. Attenta means beware. It must be urgent.
Very good, scared.
Still the same message. Attenta. Hello. You've broken off. The light's gone out.
Someone's broken the window.
What's that? Quick, Watson. We must get in there. Something violent is happening.
What could he have got?
There's a broken window. And here, look here, Watson. Blood. A trail of blood. Some heavy object has been dragged along the floor. Use this cupboard door. Open it, Watson.
Is that okay? Oh, very well. Oh, look. On the floor, a man.
On his back and covered with blood.
Look, there's a knife. A knife sticking straight up.
Driven blade deep into the body. A terrific blow. Give me that candle. Let's have a look here. Yes.
There. Look at the red circle drawn on the floor under his head. A halo in blood. Holmes, what are you doing with that candle?
Finishing the message. I think it will be helpful. Let's get to the root of this mystery. I must find out how he got there.
You knew this man? Then you recognize him?
Naturally, Watson. It's Black Georgiano, the head of the most terrible band of criminals in America.
Georgiano. Gee, for Georgiano. Then it must be he who sent the message. What's he doing over here in England?
That's the question we must ask the lady from across the street. She should be here in a moment. I signaled her to come. Here she is.
What is it? I have a cold. Oh, Sue, what is it? What have you done with him?
You must prepare yourself for a nasty shock, madam.
My husband, what has happened? What are you hiding from me? Who is that on the floor?
I beg of you not...
Oh, let me see. Georgiano. You're seeing him. He's dead.
Please don't be so upset, madam.
But it is wonderful, marvelous.
What?
You are the police. You have seen him. Oh, I'm so happy. You have seen him.
He was dead when we found him.
So, then it was my Jenna who killed him. My wonderful Jenna. He has done it to protect me. He has painted me magnificent. But wait. Just now he sent a message for me to
It
call.
was I who sent the final message. Your husband disappeared out of the back window, if I read the signs correctly.
But I ran away. Oh, my husband, he did it to protect himself. To save me. No one could blame him. You could not arrest him for that. No. Now that your Jenna is dead, we fear nothing. We are free.
Perhaps you'd like to tell us about it. I may be able to arrange matters with Scotland Yard.
But Jenna is my husband. And not a Luca. I am Amelia Luca. My husband and I, we live in New York. We are a half-in for my Jenna's brother. He needs the social. Look at this. The monster. There is no judge in the world who would punish my husband because he killed him.
Yes, I understand he had rather an unsavory character.
He was a king. He makes the young Italian men joining his society. And our brother was one of his men. He cannot break away. He must do the most terrible thing. And then one night he said no. And he was shot. Shot in the back.
In the back? Quite a sportsman, huh?
Oh, quiet, Watson.
After that, this young gentleman, he said my husband must join his gang. He began to make love to me. He was terrible. I'm so afraid.
So you ran away?
Yes. Good night, we go on a boat for England. But we know Georgiana will follow us when he finds out. My Jenna, he has me where I will be safe. He knows Georgiana will come, and he waits for him outside. Tonight he arrives at last. But my Jenna is ready. He is prepared to kill him. Oh, he is a hero, my Gennaro.
I don't know what the British point of view will be, but I imagine that in New York, the his husband will receive a pretty general vote of thanks.
Oh, I think we can arrange the British point of view, Watson. Scotland Yard has been on the lookout for this Georgiano since they heard he had landed. Mr. Luca has just taken a little bit of work, that's all. And now, Mrs. Luca, if you'll come with me, I believe we can arrange matters satisfactorily.
Grazie, signor, grazie. I'm so happy.
Well, it's been an interesting case, Holmes, but I still can't for the life of me see what you expect to get out of it.
Education, Watson, a little more education. Always seeking knowledge at the old university. Now, Dr. Watson, what about next week?
Well, next week I think I'll tell you an adventure that took me on a wild goose chase halfway across the continent of Europe. A case which Holmes solved by opening a coffin.
You have been listening to a Sherlock Holmes adventure adapted from Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's story, The Adventure of the Red Circle, with Basil Rathbone as Sherlock Holmes and Nigel Bruce as Dr. Watson. The dramatization was by Edith Miser, musical interludes composed and conducted by Lou Crossbach. This program is presented from Hollywood. Each week at this time, this is not Manning's Case. This is the Red Network of the National Broadcasting Company.